what's going on, Pinball Land? Welcome to episode 6, that is 06, of the Flippin' Out Pinball Podcast. My name's Ken Cromwell. With me today, as always, the co-host with the most, Mr. Greg Bone. Greg, what's up, man?
No, not much, man. Just ready to get my pinball on.
I know, it's been a few weeks since we got on the microphones. We were kind of trying to stagger it up a little bit, opposite of Zach's The Pinball Show with Zach and Dennis over there. So we want to try to give you constant communication and constant content every single week, whether that's from the Pinball Show or the Flippin' Out Pinball Podcast. You just recently finished up a little something that we'd been promoting on social media.
Yeah, I finished up that Tails. Again, like kind of what I explained on there. I knew what I was getting myself into. I what was going to be kind of, honestly, I don't know if I was going to do anything with it. I was going to put it in the house. And then when, I folded the head up and stuff outside, I was like, yeah, that's not coming in the house. That's, it's pretty gnarly.
Missed the cut. So you didn't bring it downstairs. You didn't put it in the game room.
No. So, I mean, again, like I said, and then once I started looking it over, then it just compounds. It's just a good shop job, just a really heavy duty shop job, tearing everything down. And then, this was the first time that I had used a tumbler. I went and bought a tumbler because I was like, man, I am so over hand polishing all these parts. And I just don't know if this game is worth it. So I went and got a tumbler and got some walnut media for it. And then, I bought some metal polish, because everything I read, everything I was looking at, you got to add metal polish in there, man. It speeds everything up. It just makes it so much nicer. So I bought this shit, and it just didn't do very much. And, I didn't leave the parts in there for a ton of time, maybe 12 hours or so, but it still just was not doing hardly anything. So, I contacted Carrie Hardy, because I know Carrie had did a video of it, and I was like, hey, man, because he was using this Lucas Oil gunmetal polish. And I was like, how'd you like that stuff? And he was like, oh, dude, like, it's awesome. So I was like, okay, shit, I'm breaking down, buying another $20 bottle of something. And I broke down, bought that, put that in there. Dude, oh, it saved so much time, and the parts turned out gorgeous. And, I did learn something that, if you do some research, you'll find. But for anybody out there that's looking at getting a tumbler, I bought just cheap one from Harbor Freight. I think I paid like $70, but time is what is on your side with this. Let it run overnight, 24 hours, I think, minimum. Couple
Are
days.
you just like taking random things from the house and throwing it into the tumbler? Because I got into that habit when I bought a power washer once to kind of take out some stuff on a patio, and then I just found myself power washing everything that I possibly could. It sounds like it'd be similar with a tumbler.
So you're not wrong, dude. It's so funny you say that, because you're not wrong at all. So I had the old ball, because I couldn't find anything else to really stick in there, but I was still just intrigued by it. So I always keep, just because I'll randomly do a game or two a year that just comes in that I want to clean up. So I keep like strange things like leg levelers. I'm really anal about like dirty leg levelers coming into my house and stuff. So I'll always keep a stock of new leg levelers.
You do like a nice sterile clean zone.
Yes. I freak out, dude. I wipe everything down.
I appreciate that.
I try to sterilize the game. And so I had the old legs, which weren't or the old feet levelers off of Tails. And so I had the old balls out of there too, which weren't in bad shape, but I was like, I'm still putting new balls in. So after I was done with everything, I was like, I'm just going to toss these in for overnight. Dude, still cleaned up. Those balls look so damn good. And are so amazing.
Yeah, the balls turned out pretty good.
Yeah, and I had no use for any of that shit. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I was just intrigued by throwing something else in there and seeing what it does. But no, dude, it turned out actually beyond my expectations on how well that game cleaned up. So, I was super happy with that, man. And now it is in the basement.
So wait, where's... It is in the basement. Okay, yeah. That's where I misunderstood, because I knew originally you thought it would end up in the basement, and then I just misunderstood.
Oh yeah, it cleaned up enough, man, and I put some flips on it in the garage. Honestly, dude, I kind of like it. I like the rules. It wasn't bad. I mean, again, everybody that knows me knows that I am a sucker for my Data East and Segas, but dude, it shoots good. It's again good rule set, great theme. So I'm happy with it so far.
So you think you're going to hang out to it for a little bit? If the right trade offer came in, would you part with it? I mean, where are you at as far as the honeymoon phase goes?
I won't promote it or do anything through, man. I'm kind of like you. Like I get all
There's
giddy
no
around.
deal of the week going on here on Tales from the Crypt.
No. See, I'll hold on to it until at least after Halloween because I get giddy with fall and I love all my horror
that's cool.
stuff. So like, I'll play the hell out of it for the next couple months until then, and then maybe after that hit November, I might get rid of it.
We need more horror pins, man. Like I was
do.
totally stoked when Spooky did Evil Dead. I mean, that's a movie that I grew up with. I don't want to say as a kid. It's not like I was a toddler and my dad's throwing on Evil Dead, but I was young enough to where it was impressionable. And then to kind of have that genre come over to pinball is cool for me. I liked seeing that they did Halloween. I thought was awesome. It tends like a lot of the scarier stuff that could be scary comes across as hokey because pinball's supposed to be fun, but I just want like a terrorizing pin. Again, Spooky Texas Chainsaw Massacre, another just terrifying pin.
Yeah.
I love that genre. We need to see more of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want like Zach and I discussed this a lot and stuff because I'm a big horror fan like you. Like I love the you're I don't know, I say that, but you're kind of more of supernatural kind of spirit stuff, aren't you?
I could go either way. I mean, that's why I love Halloween so much because it kind of covers all of that. You know, it's ghosts, it's paranormal, it's just serial killers, it's anything.
Yes, I agree. Okay, good. So yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. Like I love anything horror like that, and so I'm always championing for a good horror pin. But I'm like you as well. Like Zach and I have talked. I want something scary. Like I want a scary pin. You know, one thing that was super scary that oddly enough, I mean, it belonged in the game. It was fun. But do you remember the screaming banshee in Ghostbusters that they put in that game?
Oh my gosh!
Son of a bitch would just wail at you and freak you out.
That was a blood curdling scream that would come out. Dwight coded that in there.
Yes,
it scared the hell out of people.
Yes.
To where, I mean, there should have almost been some type of disclaimer there because could you imagine just going through your house, and this has happened to people 1, 2 in the morning, you've got that game on downstairs and you just hear a terrifying blood-curdling scream. You don't know what's going on. You know, if you're packing, you're grabbing your gun, you're going downstairs, you're shooting up the place, it's nuts. But I want a pinball machine that I want a pinball machine where I would feel uncomfortable playing it by myself in the dark at home, or you know what I mean, like something that just gives you that little bit of uncertainty, like something's off here. That would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. The only pin that comes close to doing that to me is Funhouse. That fucking Rudy just staring at you.
Ironically, Funhouse, right? Yeah.
I hate that little dummy.
I don't like heads on play fields, man. Yeah, I could see that. I
hate clowns.
But,
I hate clowns. So like anything like that and dummy, like I hate those freaking porcelain dolls. Like I hate any of that shit, man. It's like, oh god, it gives me the creeps.
Is there a horror theme that you would like to see?
Oh my god, yeah, man, for sure. 2 of them, very specifically. But I think, well, actually 3. I'll say 3. Number 1, man, I think we need a Friday the 13th. 100%. You know, and
that's kind of the low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
right?
and well, and I spoke with Spooky, man, because I've championed that behind closed doors for years. And you know, I spoke to them years ago about it, and they said, I guess basically that it's a licensing nightmare. That the license are just held all over the place. It's just a bunch of issues with it.
I'm surprised because it's not like there's. I mean, the actor's behind a mask. I mean, it's you know what I mean. The main character, Jason Voorhees. I'm trying to think. Was there any like top talent in there where you'd have to go out and try to figure out how to get
I mean, because like Kane Hodder, who did play Jason more than anybody. I mean, he's super accessible. And again, I mean, what are you going to do? He's not going to be getting out and doing call outs or anything.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You can get. We got all the call outs from Jason Voorhees.
Dude, that's the way I swear, kid, that I would put that on the flyers just to make people think.
Yes.
Because that would be hilarious.
Complete narration. Right. That would be pretty funny. You wouldn't even have to get Mark Silk to do it. Like it would just be, it'd be natural, which is great.
I'm dead. That's so perfect. But yeah, that's obviously like number 1 to me. Then I think that we could use an updated, really good Nightmare on Elm Street. Now that's a game that, dude, you could add some good creep factor into, I think.
Sure.
And then just kind of hokey fun, just while Brad Dourif is around, man. I've championed this too. We need a Child's Play. That would just lends itself because of the humor. I mean, same thing, honestly, with Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, look at the off kilter, kind of dirty innuendo humor that Freddy makes and stuff like that. Would just be perfect for pinball. Perfect.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to watch the Nightmare on Elm Street in such a long time. I think I was in probably junior high around the time those movies were coming out, but they were scary, man. Like you didn't want to go to sleep for a little bit. It's got that bone chilling effect. I would like to see, and again, it's probably not an A+ tier license, but as far as like horror themes and paranormal, I would love to see the original Poltergeist come out. And you could have that LCD just with the fuzzy kind of screen where it's like they're here. Yeah, that's just cool stuff to me. Exorcist is just a terrifying movie. I would not want to see that in a pinball machine. Like anything that has anything to do with that is over the top for me. Yeah, but with Halloween coming up, it's top of mind for me, and I got to get more time on Halloween. And Evil Dead is just impossible to come by. I played it a few times at some of the pinball shows, and I enjoyed it a lot. And it's just like I don't know. I don't know the next time I'll ever play it. I'd love to own it. Don't know that ever happens, but good on Spooky for bringing the genre to mainstream for us.
I agree. And we're going to have to work on, Zach always gets pissed off at me. I'm one of those people that grew up, remember like when you'd watch your sitcoms and stuff and all your shows would have like the Halloween special or Christmas special. So I always loved doing that with Straight Down the Middle, doing Halloween episodes and stuff. So we're going to have to work out one or two really good Halloween episodes for October for this show.
Oh, how do you think this would work out for a theme? You take one of the more iconic pinball themes in The Simpsons, but you just do Treehouse of Horror.
Oh, I think you could do it. I think, dude, that's still super popular, and there's so much content, and it's fun. It's perfect.
So over the last couple of weeks, Greg, we were asking a question on our social media, again, getting everybody engaged, taking part into the show, and we were wondering what everybody's pinball confession was. And that was something that was a secret that was so deep, only yourself or very few people knew about it. And we even opened up the anonymous email line in case somebody needed to drop something serious. And believe it or not, we got a couple in there too, that people that did not want to be named but had pinball stories, which I thought were pretty fun. So if you're all right with it, what we'll do is there were a lot of them, right? So we're going to cover some of them here on the podcast. We're going to take the rest of them. We're going to include that as part of the bonus content. I can't talk, Greg, man. I tell you what, I'm on such shit sleep the last 2 nights. Like I'm beside myself. I don't even know what's going on. But we're gonna take the rest of that content. We're gonna put it as bonus content over at Patreon, and you can go to patreon.com/Flippin' Out Pinball Podcast. This isn't going to be in any particular order, so let's read some of these. I'll only use first names on these stories, and then we can offer a little bit of commentary back and forth, and then at some point. I don't know. I would love to hear if you've got a confession or two. I think I've got 2 or 3 that I may or may not have ever shared, and I thought it'd be fun. But are you ready to go? Are you ready to go, Greg?
Let's rock it.
Let's do it. All right. This one's from Mike, and I thought this was genius. He says, when my wife's asleep, I take her phone, and I Google the newest pin releases and the best pinball mods so that they show up on her targeted ads when she's awake.
That's kind of good.
It's just so amazing. It's so diabolical. It's like you're dropping the bomb. Nobody knows. His wife's probably thinking, my gosh, the phone is listening to us talk because all these pinball machines and all these mods keep coming up on my targeted ads. But I thought that was great.
It's actually genius.
Yeah, there's a guy, Mike, says this is insidious and it's fantastic. But it is definitely pretty epic.
Thank you, targeted ads.
Thank you, targeted ads. Another one from Scott. I, quote unquote, won my Black Knight Sword of Rage topper. So another instance where somebody probably doesn't want to disclose to their significant other how much they spent on a piece of pinball or pinball mod.
Ken, this is no lie. So a guy who he probably only lives about 20 minutes away from me. We've become pretty good friends through pinball, and then I found out that I'd went to school with his sister-in-law and some stuff, and we've become pretty good friends or whatever. And he's a super straight shooting guy, man, and everything. Good guy. And he was telling me a story early on, and this is no lie. So they were out in Vegas. And his brother was into pinball and stuff too, and everything as well. And they lied. They bought a game and had it shipped and said that they freaking won the game out in Vegas.
Oh my gosh!
When they were playing through a contest.
That's crazy. What game was it? Do you know?
No, I can't remember. He told me what it was, but I can't remember what it was. And straight up told his wife that they won that so he could get that game. For some reason, I think it was Kiss.
That's so funny. I mean, it's dangerous. At some point, you feel like that's going to slip up, and you're going to be like, remember when we bought that game in Vegas? And she's going to be like, wait, what do you mean you bought it? You mean you won it?
But do you know, like, but I feel that that's something that you're on, like, a time frame with. Like, if, you know, a few years down the road, you're having a few drinks, you
That's
just start
exactly
laughing
right.
about it.
That's exactly right, because the story is so deceiving and epic that at some point it just comes out.
All is forgiven.
And you hope that time had healed all wounds. And, you know, it's when you go to sell that game that you won and you get a couple thousand, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 back. That's when the wife's like, all right, hey, time for me to collect a little bit. Let's go. Let's go.
That's the only bad thing is that she's like, you won the damn game, so you give me a cut of it. Didn't cost you anything.
Yeah,
I
that's
need
exactly
my
right.
share.
And you know what? Fair enough. I can totally get it. This one's from Armando. He says, I spent over an hour looking for the back box key to a pre-owned machine that I purchased from Zach at Flippin' Out Pinball. Good on you, Armando, for getting your used game from Flippin' Out Pinball. He says, I looked in every crevice of the machine and I couldn't find it. Even went as far as to email Zach and say, you know, maybe he forgot to include it. So I gave up frustrated. The wife comes home from work and she finds the key within 30 seconds. And guess what? It was right where it's supposed to be, inside the coin door. I just somehow overlooked it multiple times. Have you ever not been able to find the stupid key inside the coin door? Because honest to God, that's happened to me a few times. I thought for sure
I haven't had it happen. Well, so I did my very first game, and let me just say this: you cannot believe how many people, and there are a lot of new people getting into the hobby. So I get it, but you would be surprised about how many people that I get emails from that can't find the keys. Or sometimes it's kind of legitimate. They slide off and will fall down into the cabinet, but they just don't think to look in the cabinet and stuff. But it happens all the time. But my very first new Stern that I had gotten, I had, because my head keys for my I got the Sega Showcase on my Lost World. That key, I mean, it was just prominent, and it was sticking in the head when I got the game. And for some reason I thought on like these modern Sterns, because I had a Star Trek, I didn't know any different. I just thought it used the same key. Well, I was able to jam that key into that freaking headlock and get that thing to actually open up with the door key, but then I couldn't get the key out, and I had to get like a pair of pliers and grab onto that key and then kind of tap it with a hammer to get it out. And then that's when I called Zach, and I was like, dude, this shit is just rough. He's like, it uses a separate key. It's in the coin door.
Right, that's exactly right.
I said, oh shit, that's my fault.
All right, so we've got Jason who chimes in here on the Flippin' Out Pinball podcast. He says, hey guys, my wife's just getting into pinball. She's really enjoying it. I always take player 2 that she can play first, and then on my third ball, I always let her have it too to get more practice. See, that's a nice guy. He goes on to say, I always try to have a multi-ball ready so that she can go in and luck into one of those on my last ball. And I'll admit it, I play worse on purpose when we play, so I don't take long, and so she feels like we're close in skill.
Oh yeah, you have to. My wife, when we got my first pin, we were played as a family all the time. Me and her compete. She would whoop my ass a lot, and then
no way.
Again,
I like that.
Obsession. I got better and better. She played less and less because of that. Now when we play, she's like, I don't want to play with you. You take too long. You take too long. So I have to be very forgiving. Give her extra balls again. If I want her to
do you dial it back a little bit? Like, and is it you just not trying, or is it you just trying to like create more risk shots for yourself? I mean,
I just give up. Sometimes I just stop playing. Like, here, I drain.
Geez.
Oops.
Oh, geez. Well, happy wife, happy life. I and it doesn't even have to be the wife. There are plenty of wives out there who are crushing their husbands, and they probably lay back on the gas. All right, so we've got another one here. It's from Nate. He says, I run quote unquote movie code whenever possible. You ever run the movie code where you run I assume on Jurassic Park you got some movie code on there, or is that something that you can't?
I would
that
never
would be in violation
do that,
of your warranty,
Ken.
Greg. So
not at all. That's terrible.
Have you once heard of somebody that ran the movie code on a Jurassic Park pin? Greg?
I have heard of those disgusting people.
That's violating that warranty. Stay out of there. I don't know. Is that as prominent right now with I assume when there's code updates, and I'm not as familiar with it. If you're running some type of custom movie code on a game, and there's an update, does it just kind of brick the old?
I don't know if it bricks it. I don't know what happens, honestly, if you update. I know it makes it not function. I I doubt that it would rewrite everything. So yeah, I kind of don't know what it does. Honestly, that's kind of a good question.
Well, how would you know?
How would I know?
You don't run that.
I
have no idea. Taylor says all my high scores are with the glass off. Well, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to slide that glass off. And,
that's real dirty.
Yeah, I don't like that. But you know what? Hey, that's it. We're not here to judge. That's what these confessions are for.
I don't know. I'm judging him a little bit.
Little bit?
A little bit. Just a little tiny amount.
Got to play with the glass on. I have had people that would come over here and blow up my games and just decimate my high scores, and that depresses me. That gets me. I would never take the glass off to remanipulate the high scores, but yeah. I don't like it. That being said, I'm not high score driven. I'm more, me, I'm more about the pinball moments, the light shows, exploring the modes, trying to get through the game type of thing.
Agreed.
Matthew says, I take my wife to arcades and I get her to fall in love with different pins so that when I buy it, she doesn't yell at me. I think that's a pretty good tactic.
You have to. Yeah. Sometimes it's a necessity.
I notice a lot of the men here, and I guess that makes sense, right? Because pinball's predominantly male, but a lot of the men tiptoeing around upsetting the wife. So or I can appreciate keeping the wife happy. You want to make sure you're trying to be honest. That's all I'll say.
100%.
Trevor comes in. He says, pinballs cost about the same as a new TV if the wife ever asks. With new TVs now being anywhere between, I don't know, $300 and $3,500.
You can pick up like an 85-inch TV for like $800.
You're not even wrong, man. I was in Costco the other day, and I think there was an 85-inch TCL or something like that. It was like $6.99. It's like I would almost just take that and just use it for a year and throw it out. Jim chimes in, and he says, I really enjoy Spectrum. Leftover code from Mr. and Ms. Pac-Man and all, ... I have no idea what that is. Do you know what Spectrum code is for Ms. Pac-Man?
No,
Mr.
I'm at a loss. That's new to me.
I don't even know. I guess there's got to be something nefarious in there if he's using it as his opportunity to confess.
I know.
So John offers this confession. He says, one time at league night, I got a ball stuck during a 2-ball multi-ball, and I kept playing to rack up the points. And he says that he knows that he's going to go to hell for that one. Wait, what are you? I
give you kudos on that.
Is that taboo?
One. While dirty, I give you kudos.
Is it? Well, you've run tournaments, right, at your location?
Oh,
yeah. Got games? I don't know much about the tournament scene.
Oh, dude, people get insane. Like, there's a reason he kept that a secret, because those fucking people will chop your head off. Like, you've never seen.
So, is that illegal though? If the game's malfunctioning, can you just exploit it, or does that nullify a ball?
I technically don't know. I would assume that you're not allowed to, and you would have to try to beat it and bang it loose at some point, or tell them like, "Oh, I got 2 balls stuck during this."
Well, that's the thing. Like, how would you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd play that one ball.
Sometimes if somebody's paying attention and watching, and I don't, because sometimes people hover and linger. But dude, tournament players get serious, so I don't blame him. Yeah, I've seen people play extra balls before by accident or start someone else's game. Oh, holy shit!
Yeah, well, yeah, I could see that too. I've done that. I accidentally jump in on an extra ball or not play it.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we got Raymond. Raymond says, Ken, I'm aware of a secret. He says, Ken is aware of, I'm going to read this verbatim. Ken is aware of my secret since he was part of the aftermath. It's keeping the location a secret where a certain band stayed that signed my pinball machine. He and Eric Minier, made a nice video about that experience when he was at JJP. And that's Raymond, our buddy from overseas. I don't know why he's saying that this is a confession because, bless Raymond here. This guy's posted this story in every single forum group, every discussion I've ever seen. Anybody that ever mentions Guns N' Roses, if they're thinking about getting a game or something unique that happened to their game, Raymond he comes in and he posts that picture of the apron that he got Slash and Axel and Duff all to sign. And that was, Eric kind of set that up to where G&R was playing overseas. Yeah. And he arranged for Raymond to drop off his apron at the hotel. Slash grabbed it, took it to the band. They signed it, brought it back. Raymond ended up dropping off some like little candies for Slash. Slash liked that. But he's got one of the rare Slash autographs where Slash signs his name, Slash, and then he puts the year in which he autographed. Uh-huh. So, for instance, on Guns N' Roses, when that game came out in 2020, like the promotional posters and anything that we had out, it says Slash 2020. But Raymond has one that has Slash the year, and then occasionally, and I don't know what triggers this for Slash, but he draws like this little figure, like it's a little art figure. Looks like a hieroglyph or something. And it's cool. So he's got that on his apron.
Dude,
so,
that's super awesome.
Happy he's happy.
That's good. But you know what we did learn from this is that you cannot trust Raymond with a secret because he's going to tell
Yeah, that's
everybody
right.
every chance
That's
he gets.
right. It's so funny. He's like, Ken is aware of this secret, but you know what? Half the world is aware of that secret, and I appreciate you bringing it up. This one's from Billy. He says, everybody already knows Tim Lee's pinball secret, but will still be worth hearing again for a good laugh. Surprised they let him back this year. So maybe down the episode we get into Tim Lee's.
I know.
confession.
I saw that. It made me curious. I'm like, will somebody please speak out on Tim? I want to hear Tim's secret.
Yeah, no, and we'll see. We'll see if it comes up here.
We're going to start doing some investigative journalism over here at Flipping Out.
That's right. That's right. Another one from Jeff. Full disclosure, this is a buddy of mine, and he's asking me, I assume. He says, will our adventures picking up machines in Logan Square in Lincolnshire make the cut? I will keep that story off. I will not be confessing that story. There are two stories there where it was just crazy. I'll tell that story down the road. Maybe I'll tell it for bonus content, but those were some good pinball adventures. Jeff, appreciate you listening to the show, buddy. Congratulations on retirement. Although he's not retired. Jeff retired recently, only to go back to work part-time because he's that kind of a guy. So good on you, Jeff. This one's from,
It's an expensive hobby. Sometimes you can't retire when you're in pinball.
Oh, I know. It is. This one's from Anthony. He says, played buck naked one night and had a mishap with the plunger. That's as far as I could share.
My mind went to two things. You either got some reverberation that hit something, or you got something tucked into the spring that you shouldn't have got tucked into the spring.
Terrible. That's terrible. I didn't know where to go with that. I wasn't sure where he was going to go with that.
It's like there's something about Mary, the pinball edition.
There was a guy, this other guy is, I don't know. He also follows up. I don't know. I just know what to say about it. You know, that's a vulnerable area for the men, the action zone right there. And whether it was a nudge or something got pulled on accident, I don't know, but we'll keep the speculation open on that. This one's from Jeremy. He says, great. Oh, well, hey, just a comment from Jeremy. He says, great job bringing the listeners into the episodes. This is becoming more and more into a great podcast. And we appreciate that, Jeremy. It's taken a little bit of a different approach. We'll cover the news when it's necessary and big, but I think it's just fun entertainment wise, bringing everybody in to participate in the show. And it's worked out well for us. Listenership has been outstanding and we appreciate that. All right. So all of those, Greg, were all out in the public as far as they were posted on our socials, whether that's the Flippin' Out Pinball podcast social media pages or Flippin' Out Pinball Facebook. You could go ahead and check those out. This is where it gets a little bit deeper. We got a couple that came in through the anonymous email line that we had offered, and we're going to go. This one's a little bit lengthy, but it's not terribly long. But and I'm going to read it verbatim. I am not going to change. I'm not going to edit because it is somebody's confession. Are you ready for this one, Greg?
Yes.
All right. It says, hey, dudes. Love the show. This is a pretty embarrassing story, so please don't use my name, LOL. It's a little bit gross as well. I'm not even sure if it's funny, but it's my pinball secret. And I'll say this happened within the last...
start something off like that it's kind of gross. Not really sure it's funny, guys.
Right.
But here it is.
I feel like he needs to get it off his chest, assuming it's a guy. We'll see. He says, I will say that this happened within the last 2 years. And here we go. He says, I was with a friend attempting to qualify for finals in one of the larger annual pinball tournaments in Pittsburgh. It was a card style format. My wife decided to come down and join me in the city that evening for a night out. And shockingly, I had one amazing card that I knew would hold. I'm assuming that's like a tournament thing where you don't have to stress out. I don't know. He says, so we decided to just hang out at the bar and just enjoy the night with friends. So at this point, this guy's sitting down with his wife at the bar. No stress with the tournament. It goes on to say, pretty standard story, but this is where it gets kind of embarrassing. My wife proceeded to get me absolutely trashed. I'm getting older and I never really drink more than a beer or two. Not that night. She wanted to have a good time and there was just no stopping her. She just kept ordering me drinks. So we'll see where this one goes. Are you ready?
I think he's just blaming his wife.
He says, fast forward to the next day. Yes, I made finals, but I've had the worst hangover I've had in a very long time. Maybe the worst in 20 years. Definitely the worst in 10 years. But I was going to power through and I was going to play in the finals. And it turns out I had to play one of the best. and one of the most well-respected tournament pinball players in the world. Everyone who knows anything about pinball tournaments would know this dude. Okay, it might be a short day. ... Well, things got even more interesting. I was just feeling miserable on the day of the tournament from the hotel, and then it happened. DEF CON 1. I'll make it short. I got such a cramp in my stomach, I ended up shitting my pants on the way to the tournament.
Oh my God. I thought he was going to throw up. I didn't know he was going to shit himself.
Yeah. He says, I couldn't even make it to the restroom. Ugh, this is how I know my wife clearly loves me. She got me to a Kohl's, got me some new undies and pants, and I got all cleaned up in the pinball establishment's restroom. Don't worry, I put everything in the garbage bag and disposed of it properly. LOL. All was good now. Time to play. So you're thinking that's the end of it, right? Nope.
Yeah.
Here we go. He says, yes, embarrassing, but that's not the end of the story. I played this really awesome gentleman a few times, and I've never beat him, and I've always wanted to beat him at least one time. Well, today was the day. He had a really bad game. All I really had to do was backhand a ramp to get multi-ball, which would probably have given me the win. But instead, I ended up trapping the ball on my right flipper while clenching my butt cheeks really hard, trying not to cramp again. Unfortunately, I never made that backhand. DEF CON 1 occurred again. You know it. Not as bad as the first time, but I clearly had to get out of there. Afterwards, he asked me why I didn't just backhand the shot, and at that point, I just needed to leave. So that's my embarrassing pinball secret is I shit my pants playing one of the best players in the world, LOL. And for some reason, my wife still made me stop at the Hofbräu for lunch. But that's another story for another day. I trust you guys to keep my name secret. Although there's numerous people in the poor man group who clearly know what happened. If it's too long, you don't have to use it. I won't be offended. Absolutely. No, we're using it. We used it right there.
In my younger days, we used to call those the beer shits because you.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
So bad.
Of course.
And dude, that reminds me.
You're not sure if that's a little gassy or if you're going to get a little liquid.
At some point, I'll have to tell you a shit your pants story that I've got that is just because I think we've all shit ourselves. Not to that extent, but I do think that most of us shit our pants. If you're in your 40s.
I've got a story that probably happened 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not good.
No.
Here's another one off the anonymous tip line here. It says, are you ready? It says, I've been in the hobby for over 5 years now, but I think everybody has at least on a few occasions been an idiot when working or buying on their first game. Mine was a doozy, though. He says, I had purchased a high speed and was using my father-in-law's truck to move the game. He came along to help out. Getting the game into the truck bed was relatively easy. Getting it out was another story. The truck bed was so high up that we didn't know how to get it down with the leverage. So we got a furniture dolly involved, and after much deliberating, after we were trying to get the game out, the back end slipped and the game fell out of the truck bed and slammed into the cement driveway. That's a terrible feeling, Greg. That's a terrible feeling. It says, thankfully, it didn't cut my fingers clean off, but it was devastating to spend a few $1,000s for the first time on a game, $2,700 in 2022, he notes, and then drop it out of the back of the truck. But he says, after looking things over, the wood between the head and the body were splintered and fractured. They ended up using some wood glue, clamps, and acrylic black paint. And most people would never know, especially the guy that he probably sold that game to right away. I dropped that, fix it, and get it out of here.
That's part of pinball,
he says,
man.
thankfully, the fall didn't hurt anyone.
Resilient. You make that shit work. Put it back together.
That's right. He says, thankfully, the fall didn't hurt any other parts of the game, and it lived on location for many years, issue-free, and to this day, I won't move games with a truck. Low-profile cars like Vans or the Honda Fit are the way to go. Says, thanks, guys. Enjoying the podcast a lot. So
he's got PTSD of fucking trucks and pins.
Oh, man. It's hard. The first time you're moving a game, I remember it was the first game I ever bought. It was an Earthshaker. We had to pull it out of a basement. And I thought I knew what I was doing because I had a buddy of mine, Joe, at the time, who was kind of giving me some tips on buying this game. Joe lives locally. What's up, Joe? And so I go back in the emails. He's like, yeah, you're going to fold down the head. You're going to tip it. You're going to wrap it, tip it up, take the legs off, just how we typically would do it. Well, for whatever reason, I'm down there. I'm excited. I fold the head down, and then we proceed to carry this Earthshaker out of the basement, me and two guys with the legs on, with all the weight on the head on the guys that are like carrying from the bottom going up the stairs. And then me on the top, just like pulling, and I was struggling. Then we get this game out the door, and then we get it to the van, and we take the back legs off and kind of coffin styled it in there. And I was like, wait a second, these freaking legs come off. Why did we do all that? And then it occurred to me that I did not know what I was doing back in the day. But that was the first and last time I ever moved a game like that with the legs.
Dude, is that not crazy? Like looking back, because like I remember my very first game. Like I don't know why it just never. It never occurred to me that I needed a dolly or anything, because I bought it from technically, I guess, like a resale shop type thing. And so like I called a buddy because I was keeping it a secret from the family. I wanted to surprise him. And me and him carried that son of a bitch, and that didn't have the legs, so yours was way worse. But like looking back, like my first 2 or 3 games, I carried with somebody down the stairs, and just the height difference. Like
that's
there's no way I wouldn't even remotely think about doing that again.
No. My basement has 2 landings. I just got proficient about getting a game in the house, taking the legs off, and then just literally just sliding it down the stairs, get it to the first landing, rock it over, slide it down. I can move a game down the stairs by myself without a dolly.
Oh, nice. I always do it with a dolly, but similar way. Like I just kind of sat down and let it just work its way down really easy. Getting it up, stern, I can. If I really put something into it, but like any other game, I can't get upstairs. I got to have somebody give it a little push.
I honestly like that about Stern games, is that, I mean, all pinball is heavy, and you work out best with 2 people, especially if you're going up and down stairs. But at least Stern gives me a fighting chance of getting something set up, down a flight of stairs or even up a flight of stairs by myself. But again, you need 2 people. That's why the neighbors started not hanging out with me that much, because I was going through games so often. They didn't want to go up and down the stairs anymore. So I ended up just making that garage, that game room, and I never looked back since. Never had a game come in and out of this basement ever again after that. So I was pretty happy. This one is another one from the anonymous hotline. He says, I'll give you the short story. Thank you. He says, a few months after I discovered pinball, I went to Replay FX with my son, and we had researched all these games we wanted to play. I knew they were having a pinball tournament, but I didn't realize the importance of this tournament, and I had no clue what a Pinburg even was. He goes on to say, anyway, all the games I wanted to play were in the tournament, and I noticed that they were taking breaks. So I started to go out on the tournament floor during the break and play all the games. A very nice gentleman asked me to leave. He even pointed out that there were signs telling me I wasn't allowed to play the games. I didn't even see those signs, but I just couldn't help myself. I kept doing it. Eventually, he told me the next time would be my last. He was very polite in his messaging. Anyway, I really needed to play this Dark Knight game, and my son really wanted to play Medieval Madness. So I told my son I would create a diversion. I said to give it 3 to 5 minutes and then go play Medieval Madness. This guy just doesn't stop, Greg. He says, I'll distract the bouncers. I headed straight towards Batman, and sure enough, they were watching me, and they came for me. On the way out, I kept asking questions about machines and pointing at things. And they were really nice folks. So they were explaining the machines to me as they were tossing me out. Anyways, I texted my son that I would see him on the outside. I believe he got in 3 games of Medieval Madness. And honestly, I actually feel bad about it. I just thought it was an everyday pinball tournament, and I couldn't understand why they wouldn't let me play the machines. On a side note, when I was playing the new Jurassic Park game, Keith Elwin was standing there. And I forgot exactly what I said, but essentially I asked him for how long he's been working for CoinTaker. So let me ask you this. Part of the story makes me laugh. Part of the story is puzzled. Like, dude, if there's signs, don't play the games. Just don't play the games. And if you didn't see them, why do you keep going back to the well, getting everybody upset at the tournament, and then creating that diversion for your son? I don't know. Just Medieval Madness is a pretty common game to go play somewhere else. You probably could have just driven 5 miles somewhere and play that game. So where I appreciate the tenacity and creating diversions and kind of the rebel attitude. It's like, was it all worth it in the end? Is this guy even allowed back into Pinburg? I don't know, but I appreciate that he shared the story. All right, so we'll close this segment out with this last one, which I think is pretty awesome. And we won't tell you who this person is until the end, and see if you can guess it during the part of the part of the Pinball Confession. Are you ready, Greg? All right. So this email came in and it says, my pinball confession for the podcast, ... When I was a kid, I ended up finding a file on my dad's desktop labeled, quote unquote, the Roger Report. Now, this file turned out to be all the Williams Bally Midway pinball and video projects that were either in development or potential licenses that my dad was pitching to the various design teams as available, along with notes on who was interested in the project, etc. Mortal Kombat pinball? ? Yes, please! ! It, of course, never happened, but it was on the report at one time. Talk about the ultimate rumor has it segment. getting to be in the know without my dad ever knowing that I found that file was pretty awesome. Signed, Josh Sharp. That's awesome.
That is so cool.
And Josh is, he runs the IFPA, but he's also the CFO right now at Raw Thrills. So I appreciate Josh chiming in. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, well, and for everybody out there listening that doesn't know, shame on you if you don't. His dad is Roger Sharp, the proclaimed father of pinball, and Roger is kind of a master at securing, different IPs and licenses and stuff. It's kind of his forte, and so he's very good at what he does. So it's kind of awesome to hear that. Just for those that aren't familiar.
Yeah, he's the go look it up. The shot that saved pinball back in the day. Legitimately was able to recognize that pinball machines weren't necessarily they weren't gambling devices. They actually were a game of skill.
Took skill.
So
that's a hell of a movie too, man.
Yeah.
That was actually really good. Like Chelsea loved it too, and like I said, she hates pinball because it's my life, but she did love that movie, man. It was very well done.
And of all the people that I've had the pleasure of meeting throughout my years of just being involved in the hobby, Roger's one of the most genuine, nice people to talk to, and he tells amazing stories, very thorough. I mean, he tells long stories, but they're interesting stories. Yeah. I know buddies of mine that tell long stories. They're not as interesting, but, I try to be courteous.
I know a lot of people have to play some games with him at different shows and stuff. And it's always fun, especially like a homebrew or a new game, because Roger will like walk you through everything. Like he talks a lot when he's playing with that's a very unique shot.
Yeah,
there. That's weird.
Cool.
Why does that do that, you think? Why? Look at that. Just coming back at you like that. I'm like, it's so awesome because, his brain still, after being in pinball this many years, it's still just like breaking everything down that he does and that layout and everything. I don't know, dude. It's just, I think it's magical. Like, I always just like listening to his thoughts.
Well, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree with that whole Sharp family bloodline too, because like I said, I mean, Josh, who just sent that email, CFO at Raw Thrills, also runs the IFPA. You've got Zach Sharp, who's the senior marketing director over at Stern Pinball. These guys are just embedded in the industry, heavy, hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
And then Roger's just kind of involved a little bit of everything in pinball, it seems. And, he's helped companies get their foot in the door, and he's helped the solidified companies land some major licenses and deals. So it's good. It's a good family. I'm a fan. Yeah. I'm a fan,
awesome,
Greg, of the
awesome
Sharps.
Family.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
So, Greg, it now comes to our Pinball Confessions. And I've got one or two that I could share if you're up for it. I don't know if you've got a couple that you could share. We don't have to get too deep, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of hear what you have to say.
Oh yeah, mine are kind of lame. Like, I mean, I've had some of mine are common things. Like I have dropped a playfield in the cabinet. I think a lot of people have. Like,
That's
I always feel bad
scary, man.
Oh, it is, dude. I always feel bad when somebody does that because I think that they kick themselves so hard about it and stuff because they're so terrified and everything. And I'm like, man, it happens. Like, I feel like it's going to happen at least once to you if you're in the hobby and you get a lot of games. I think the same thing probably goes for breaking a sheet of glass. Like, knock on wood, I've never broke a sheet of glass, but it's
oh man,
common.
I give you 2 months now. You're breaking a sheet of glass.
I know. I knew better than to say it at all, but like. So when I very first got my game, again, this is lame, but I mean, it was something stupid that happened. Like I had some bulbs burn out. Like this guy put in the real cheap, I mean, they're almost like a blue, they're a natural white, but they're those like real cheap, like Chinese bulbs. And that's what he had in there. And a couple bulbs went out. I had no idea how those bulbs came out. So like, I don't know why, but I thought they were like a flashlight bulb. Remember like old school flashlight bulbs? They screwed in. They were like a normal bulb, but they were tiny, just like that. So like I tried unscrewing the bulb and ripped the cap off, like ripped the whole LED top off. And so then I got a socket down in there and I got to unplug the game, dig that out. And I was prying on it and pulling it with a pair of needle nose to get it out. And then I learned, like, I think it was just because I was pressed down, it turned and it popped right up with the spring. I was like, oh shit.
Oh man. Like, that's like, hey, you learned that though. Yeah. And you're talking about it to this day. So it made an impression on you. I like it.
Oh, it did. I just felt so stupid. And then like one more, this one got to me a little bit because I did feel ridiculous on this. So, very first location that I'd had I guess 2 years ago now, a year ago, me and a buddy were moving my Deadpool in, and there was a whole group of people. I mean, we got there as soon as the restaurant opened, and there was like a whole big table. I mean, probably a table of 10 that sat down right in our doorway, because we came through like a side front doorway type thing. It was the only way to be able to get pins in. And so we were moving it in, tried to get there early. These people were in the way. They were talking to us like, oh, look how cool that is. You know how people are. And like, what do you do with this? You know, questioning. They're just all talkative and amped up and everything. And, you know, I was kind of like, fuck, just shut up and leave me alone. Like, we're trying to get shit done. You're in the way. Like, I can't ask you to move, so we're having to clear other tables and shit's all in the way.
Stop your enthusiasm. Get out of my way.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, it's hot as balls out, man. Like, I'm just dripping sweat. And so I didn't pay attention because, like, especially if I'm just moving a game location, like, I don't use plastic wrap on it. I'll just secure it with a strap, and then I'll strap it to my dolly. Well, I didn't pay attention because, like, they were talking to me and shit was going on. I just wanted to, they made me nervous because I didn't want them complaining or anything. And I'd already undone the strap to my dolly, and I grabbed the strap and released it, and it was to the head, and the head just boom off of a chair. And luckily the chair kind of cushioned it, but dude, it was so embarrassing. And then that whole fucking table wanted to erupt in laughter, and I was like, eat my ass. I am done. I am out of here.
That sucks. That sucks, man.
So stupid. Like, lucky, you know, nothing, you know, back glass, nothing, you know, or the translate, like, nothing, the glass in it didn't break, nothing. But dude, I felt so stupid, and I was just so ready to get out of there. It was awful.
You know, it's crazy you said that, because literally one of my Pinball Confessions is a similar story with the head. It was a brand new box game that I got right before a holiday, and we were hosting, right? I think it was Christmas. Or Christmas Eve, and the game comes like a day or two before Christmas Eve. It came like the day before, like Christmas Eve, and I'm all excited. I get my son. I'm like, hey man, let's unbox this game together. We're gonna set it up in the game room. It'll be ready to play for everybody when they come over for Christmas. He's like, all right, that's cool. He had never unboxed a game before. I get to the point where, you know, the box is off. This is a Stern game, by the way. Get the box off. All that's left is the game's off the dolly, or the game's off the pallet. And it's in the upright position with the banding strap that holds the head in place. Well, I'm just like, oh, I got to cut this strap because I'm going to have to get ready to get the head. I don't even know what I was thinking, man. Cut that strap. Same thing. The head, I just see it in slow motion. It's like, it's just slowly making its way down Matrix style in my mind. But in fast, full gravity free fall, slams, hits the garage floor, because this is where I was setting the game up. Oh. The back glass just shatters. All inside of the back of the head, and my son's just looking at me, and he's like, is that how you're supposed to open the game? I was like, no, that's not how you're supposed to open the game. I was just so excited, and it sucked, man. So first you clean up all the glass. The translite was all scratched up from the glass, but you're able to, at least in that position with the head on the ground laying flat, and the body in the upright position, glass didn't get into the game, because you get glass in a game, you're not getting glass out of a game.
Oh no, dude.
I vacuumed the heck out of that. Had to ask my buddy Dwight, who I needed to call to get a new translite and glass ordered. So he hooked me up over there at Stern, and they got me a new one. But it was terrifying. It was embarrassing. But guess what? Game played perfect. There were no issues, no damage to the back. So I don't recommend doing that, but that happened. My other pinball confession was that on every single topside teardown that I've ever done to shop out a game, I've always had at least a couple pieces of hardware left over. It's just every single time. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? They could have saved money on the bill of materials. They didn't even need this hex post. They didn't even need this washer. They didn't even need this screw. I always have like a little baggie of stuff. No idea where it was supposed to go. That was one of my confessions. And then finally, this is probably my do you have another one? Or
no.
Running my mouth too much here.
Yeah.
This one is I hope is not disappointing to people, because everybody should know how much I love pinball. And we always say this, right? We're enthusiasts and hobbyists before we're anything else. We work for a distributor with Zach and Nicole at Flipping Out Pinball. Grateful to do it because it's awesome. Again, love pinball. When I have a Golden Tee in the house, I play substantially more Golden Tee than I play any pinball machine that's ever in the house at all. And it's not because it's more fun.
No, I can see that.
It's because it offers a different type of fun.
Yes.
And it's engaging with the seasons and the tournaments. And part of me saying this is a segue, because with fall coming up right now, there are a couple things that I want to have that we want to introduce to people, and that is like things that you can add to your game room, maybe outside of pinball, to create that ultimate tailgate experience. With NFL football season, one of the things I like about Golden Tee and Big Buck Hunter is another one of these games that I enjoy a lot, because you can pick up and play for a couple minutes and put it back down. Now, you can do that in pinball to a certain extent, but occasionally you get that long game where you're 20, 30, 40 minutes in, and it's kind of hard to fit in. But, I like to entertain, so I've got a lot of people that come over for the Bears games. And you're leading up into the kickoff. We got the tailgate going. We got the Blackstone outside. We're cooking food. We got people that are playing on the Buck Hunter. We got people playing, closest to the pin or quick 9 holes at Golden Tee. Those games move fast. Dude, you can fit those games in commercial breaks at halftime.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like that's a good thing too, because like it's not as loud and as noisy as pinball too. So you could do that, or you could even have somebody step up while they're watching the game, depending on where game's on. You just got the roll of the trackball, fit a hole in.
100%.
Dude, or like you said, it can set their idle for a while. It's not like the pinball machine going off. It's just setting their idle. So you can wait a minute if it's up to somebody's turn. Because, some me and buddies will go out and play sometimes on Golden Tee. We'll have a couple drinks and we're bullshit, and then it's somebody else's turn, and it might take them 5 minutes to get up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just make an evening of it. So the same thing at home. You don't feel obligated to immediately be up there playing.
No. And it's nice because anybody can roll the trackball. You can get it deep into Golden Tee as you want, with different shot types and clubs and all that kind of stuff. But there's a handicap system. It keeps it close. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, as much as I love pinball, there are other amazing things that you can add to your game room. And as, we expand our product catalog of Flipping Out Pinball, these are two items that we're going to be featuring going into the fall. If you've ever been curious about a Golden Tee or ever been curious about a Big Buck Hunter, hit us up. You can email me, ken@flippingoutpinball.com. I'd love to talk your ear off about it and join it, because part of the whole tailgate experience that we want to promote going into the fall is just going to be everybody tailgating together on these, college football Saturdays, NFL football Sundays, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. Be part of the community, be part of the fun. And I think we're going to end up having some different ways in which you can earn prizes and whatnot by jumping on board. So if you don't have one, let us know. And if you do have one, email me anyways, because I would like to get a list of people, and I suppose I could go back to our customer list and I could pull this. But if you're listening to the podcast and this is something that's like intrigues you, maybe getting in some tournament stuff just for fun amongst all the Flippin' Out family, email me again, ken@flippingoutpinball.com, and we'll get you going. We'll get you on the list.
You're not wrong at all. Like I still love. I got that Jurassic Park shooter. I got another, arcade. Like I know that some people have gotten away from arcades, but I do think that it's great to have that in the mix and change stuff up. Because I'll sit down, I have a couple drinks or something, and just shoot the hell out of some dinosaurs. And it's just a nice change up. Like I said, it's not a big commitment.
Yeah.
You're just, you're playing, shooting, and it's just a good staple. It's because some people, I feel, they get a little intimidated by pinball sometimes, just because they're not used to it. But it's like you said, everybody can roll a trackball. Anybody can, fire a light gun. So it's like those two freaking amazing games to add to the lineup for sure.
And even on like Big Buck Hunter, for instance, it's not just bucks, it's not animals. They have little mini games that you can play. They have where you can play against zombies.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's several. They've got T2s on there, Terminator. So, I mean, there's several different games that you can play with the light gun, and it's just fun.
That's what I love. That's the selling point to me, dude, is that there's a lot more games on there than just Big Buck Hunter now. So, like, you're getting, like you said, Terminator. I guess maybe is it Salvation? I can't remember which one's on there, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, and I think they added The Walking Dead. Did they add The Walking Dead one on there too?
Yes, it is.
See, that's freaking awesome, dude.
You
that's
got Duck Dynasty is on there. It's got a ton of games. So you're not, if you're not in the mood of shooting bucks, you can go into any number of other games that are on there too. And frankly, I like to entertain a lot. So I've been in a position where I will sometimes buy things that don't really call to me, but I think they'll call to my friends or family that are coming over, because I want them to come over and have a good time. I want them to come back. And, pinball's not up everybody's alley that comes over. I mean, and it's because they don't have enough time on it and they don't appreciate it as much as maybe we do. We understand what it offers over time, and that, there's more to it than just trying to not drain. You're trying to unlock modes and scoring and things like that. But people will gravitate. They want to roll the trackball. They want to shoot the gun. They're cool items to have. And, we'll leave it at that.
The time is nearing. If you're looking for your next pinball machine, the time is nearing for Stern's next release. So that should be coming up soon. Don't forget to get on that list. We are taking that list with it being soon. For your next Stern title, we do not know what that is. We hear rumors like all of you guys, but unfortunately, we do not know exactly what that is. But don't be afraid to get on that list. Same thing with Spooky. We're taking that interested list for Spooky as well for their next game. So on either one of those, if you're interested, contact Ken or I. Again, what Ken given his email. I am Greg, just GREG at flipinoutpinball.com for any of those lists. We should be, Ken, am I right? We should be getting Jaws 50th in September. Sometime in September, those will be on the line coming to us. There are a few spots for those left, but a few. Those things went quick, did they not, Ken?
Yeah, I mean, it's every single day almost. I got people asking about Jaws 50th, and I know that we've sold a ton of them. If you've ever been on the fence about getting a Jaws, this new edition should just kind of put you over. It's just an attractive looking game. There's a lot of extra bling on it, and if you're a Jaws fan in any capacity, this is the way to go in my opinion.
And when they're gone, they're gone. I can't tell you. I literally swear on everything. Talked to a guy just 2 days ago, kicking himself in the ass about not getting a Godzilla 70th. And he was like, "Those aren't going to be re-ran again." I'm like, "No, man. It's just the anniversary year that they are, so it's not going to be re-ran again." He can't find one. He definitely wanted one new. That sort of thing. So like Ken said, just. Not creating any kind of FOMO or anything, but just once they're gone, these are gone, sort of thing. So jump on those for sure.
Yeah, I know last week I actually sold our last Dungeons & Dragons premium, but the good news is I think we're getting more from Stern this week or next, right? They should be coming back into stock, so that's good if you're looking for Dungeons & Dragons. They are producing more of the Uncanny X-Men Pros. For the lack of a better term, not to take somebody else's segment, but that game's trending up with the revisitation of the code. We've got a whole nother excitement, a whole nother wave of interest that's been in X-Men, and those games have been moving. So if you're looking to get those, X-Men Pro, this is on the line at Stern and heading our way. Dune Pinball from Barrels of Fun is also popularity-wise, it's rising. And you know what? And I'm kind of glad that this game's getting more of the praise and acknowledgement that it is now, because we talked about it in previous podcasts. Launched in a really tough window, and a lot of the genius and ingenuity that's in the game, a lot of the things that what people are asking for to be in modern pinball that are in that game, as far as like mechs and toys, were a little bit overshadowed and overlooked. So I would encourage you, give that game another listen, or give that game another look. And if you got one on location, go ahead and play it.
But dude, you're not wrong. Theme integration of that game, what they did, just incorporating movie clips and everything else is, oh man, dude, it's next level. So good.
I think some of the hesitancy has just been for people that are not really familiar with Dune and the storyline. Go back and check it out. I mean, you've got movies that came out as recently as a couple years ago with Dune. So it's a new theme that was based on an original movie from 1984. Nostalgia sells big. For those of you that don't know enough about Dune, I get it. You're going to approach that game as almost like an original theme in a way. And I totally understand that. And for me, full disclosure, that's kind of how it was with Harry Potter for me. I was aware of Harry Potter, but I didn't know anything about the storyline. I didn't know anything about the books or the movies, other than there were wizards. And, when I started playing the game, it was an original theme to me, and I had a fun time. The storyline was created itself, and I know that there's good theme integration and good storytelling within the Dune pinball machine. So, if you haven't, like I said, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. And if you're looking to get one, we've got them coming in here in the next week or two. I think by month's end, we'll have another replenishment of these Dune games.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and if you guys, if you want to change it up with a classic at all, well, sort of a classic with a spin as well, there are some pretty good, pretty big discounts on the Funhouse remake classics and LEs. Contact Ken or I to get some more information on that. And again, if new in-box pinballs are not your thing, we have always got a revolving door of used inventory. Make sure to get on our Facebook, like our page, follow all of that used inventory on there. There are tons of games on there. A lot of them go fast. Can't tell you, and Ken will back me up on this, about how many people come in and it's like, hey, I saw that game on there. Sorry, it's pending. So, act fast, get on there, check out that. Yeah. We do take an interested list on our used games. We try to keep up on that and everything as well for anything that we get in. But, again, best thing, keep an eye on that Facebook. book. Like on there.
Yeah, that interest list is great. I mean, and it's growing too. I had somebody that that reached out and gave me like 12 games to put them on the interest list. And I was like, you know what? You can limit it to like 3, but otherwise I would just put you down for an interest list for every single game that was ever created, and then we'll ping you before we list it. So it's like, if you've got somebody on that interest list, and again, you can email us at Ken or Greg at flippingoutpinball.com. Let us know what game you're looking for. And then again, when it comes in, before we post, we'll give you a little window. Hey, this game is here. If you're interested, this is what we've got. And you've got a kind of a first crack at it.
Yeah.
So to speak, which is kind of cool. And I know that I know Zach's working on a way to try to get that used inventory a little bit more prominently featured outside of the Facebook page, but it's that pin post on the top. And you know what? Drop us an email. I'll send you a link to it. And I'll even copy and paste it if you don't have Facebook, and I'll let you know what we have in stock.
Make it easy for the people.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've always, guys, we are always, not only just selling games, answering your questions, tech issues, any of that stuff. Like we're always going above and beyond. We got a lot of moving parts over here at Flipping Out Pinball. We're always continuing to improve the way that you enjoy the hobby and add to your gaming collection. And again, a lot of that work is behind the scenes. And hopefully here, we're working diligently every day. We have, I'm embarrassed to say how long our weekly meetings are between us all.
The weekly meeting is one of the highlights of my week.
Oh, man. It is me too.
It's so
good. But we've been putting a lot of stuff into Flipping Out behind the scenes, and so hopefully you're going to kind of start to see some of that stuff come out, later this year and throughout 2026. As we continue to kind of start to build on some of these projects and things that we're working on.
We promote heavily with content creation, and where that certainly has been beneficial to the brand and to the business. Over the long haul, it's beneficial to anybody that's really an enthusiast outside of just Flipping Out Pinball customers. And, obviously we would love for you to come in and purchase your next game from us. But just knowing that we're getting the word out there and getting more and more people excited. Again, I've been, I guess not stunned, but pleasantly surprised about how many people will reach out to me because of something that they saw with Flipping Out Pinball or with Straight Down the Middle. And that content goes such a long way. So again, I keep saying it, kudos to yourself and for Zach for kind of establishing that early on before being a distributor was even in anybody's mind. But now it's nice that you're not letting off the gas and we're expanding, or the product line's getting bigger, the content's going to expand. And that's exciting for us too. Cause again, as enthusiasts and as hobbyists, it's fun to kind of share our opinions, and they are opinions, and kind of share to the world what's new and what's exciting in the world of gaming. And really, my focus going into the end of the year is just how to build out that ultimate game room. And it's going to be beyond pinball. Pinball's a big part of it.
Agreed.
But again, building out that ultimate game room is kind of where it's at.
I completely agree. Couldn't have said it better myself, Ken.
All right. And then finally, from the podcast side of things, listenership is awesome, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Surprisingly, we get a ton of views, or I shouldn't say a ton, but a lot more views on YouTube than I ever had anticipated, with people just kind of clicking on an audio file and just listening to it in the background. So it's great. You can find the podcast and any of your podcatchers. If you're listening to it here now, subscribe to the podcast. That subscription is free, and you just get notified of new episodes that are coming out. But follow us. Listen, a personal thing, because just how this thing works, the more followers that we have on Facebook, the more engagement that we're going to get, because the more exposure we get with our posts. So if you've frequented the podcast page on Facebook at any time, or even Instagram, would you mind just hitting the like button? And again, it doesn't make a difference to us as far as we get paid by the click or by the likes, but it just helps spread the content and spread the word. And that's just basic social media. So if you can do that, that'd be really, really, we'd be really appreciative of that.
Muchas gracias.
If you're looking to support the show and take part in the show in a little bit of a different way, you can go over to Patreon. It's patreon.com/Flipping Out Pinball Podcast, or go to patreon.com and type in Flipping Out Pinball Podcast. We actually have different sub layers there, and there's a free sub, but there's a couple levels of subs that you could throw a couple bucks to the podcast each month, and it unlocks some different features that you don't get from the basic kind of public domain. But it's important to know that we're never kind of holding content back from you on the public side of things. This is just kind of some extra stuff and some extra ways that we can interact outside of the normal pages. But it's all fun and games, Greg, until somebody doesn't join Patreon. So we need you over at Patreon if you get a chance.
Don't lie to him, Ken. It's where all the fun is. It's where all the good stuff is.
Right.
We keep it all.
But in my eyes here, Greg, I think that this episode 6 is a wrap. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I can leave you with some parting words of wisdom.
Oh, you got it prepared this time for the prepped closing. So I'll lead it in, and we'll see how you go, because I never know where it's going to go. For Greg Bone, I am Ken Cromwell,
and I want to leave all of you out there, every listener near and far, with some parting words of wisdom. Please do not be like Anthony and keep your plunger away from the plunger. I'm Greg Bone with words of wisdom.
And don't forget to take some time out of your day and play some pinball. So long, everybody.